Hey, what's going on, hustlers? Coming to you live on Facebook right now. If you're watching this on a replay on YouTube, this was originally a Facebook Live. And today is a beautiful Sunday morning here in El Paso. I'm in my office in the podcast studio. That's why my backdrop looks a bit weird. And I just wanted to jump on here, share a little story. You guys know better than me probably that I'm very big on just watching videos, trying to improve myself. One of my biggest goals that I share with the team every single day is do one thing that is gonna make you better than yesterday. That's like my one thing. And one of the biggest things that helps me achieve that level that can help me be better today than when I was yesterday is it's when I have some free time, definitely watch some videos. There's some people that I subscribe on YouTube, and I just follow around and dig around their videos, try to learn from them, try to learn from their mistakes, what they did, what they didn't. Lately, because I've been following Patrick Bet David a lot, and I've been watching a lot of his videos, and I just found out the one of the videos where he goes over the failure, the actual being afraid of failure, and how he embraces failure and everything that's involved in it. So on the video, he actually talks about how failure is the fear of failure is one of the things that is going to stop you from the things that you want to achieve in life. So he explains it very simple. I like the way that he does it actually, because he explains it in a way that the fear of failure or every type of fear is like a bully, and the bully won't let you do anything until you really stand up to it, because the bully's job is to make sure that the bully convinces you that this is something that you cannot do, this is something that is not for you, this is something that this is not meant for you, and you actually buy this, you actually buy the idea, and and the bully will continue to grow, and the bully will continue to do whatever they want with you, aka the fear that you feel right now is going to do whatever it wants with your life until that day where you really understand that the fear that you have, it's in your mind, it's not real. Fear is not real, it doesn't exist. There's nothing that can tell you that fear is something real that you can touch. Fear is just the ideas that you have in your mind, the ideas that you tell yourself, the stories, the lies. Everything about fear is in your mind. So the moment you understand that, the moment you realize that the fear to everything, to all the greatness that you want to achieve, the fear that, to do this and that, the fear of what is people going to say about me if I fail, all those fears that you have, they're up here. They don't exist. They're just up here. They're a thought in your mind. So the fears will continue to go through many years. They can dig. You can die and you will still feel the fears if you don't come through. If you don't see them as a bully, if you don't stand up to the bully, and you actually say, you know what, I know what you're trying to do, and this is not going to work for me because I just simply believe in myself more than the fear that I feel. So I wanted to share a story because this was basically my takeaway from the video I was watching, and it reminded me one of the biggest mistake of my life. And this was back in, I believe I was still in high school. This was back in the day when I barely decided that business was my thing, that I wanted to do marketing. And I was in high school, and I had this big business idea back in the day. This was something, pre social media. There was no social media yet. It was barely starting, was MySpace and stuff. And that time, I had this great business idea. I won't share it because now it won't even make sense. Like, it's not even that great nowadays. But it was so great at the moment. Nobody was doing this, and this was a retail store idea. And even my family at the time, they were very supportive, and they told me like, hey, we'll lend you the money that you need to actually start this business, and then you will be on your own, like you can grow it and do whatever you want. It will be your business, we're just gonna lend you the money. And I did a lot of research, I did a business plan, I did everything. I had a leasing contract in front of me. Like, I really did all the research ready to go. And last minute, I decided that, you know what? No, what if I fail? Like, I was too afraid of failing. What if the business goes bankrupt? What if the business I can't pay the loan back, and now I owe the loan and the business is gone. So guess what happened? I mean, I didn't proceed. Like I quit. I never started that business. I decided to trash everything that I had done, all the research and everything that I had done. And to this date, this is my biggest regret. And here's why. Turns out a few months later, I would say probably about a year later, somebody came up with the idea. And this guy executed on the idea. And not only did he do well on that one store, he actually started opening stores all around the city. He started franchising and he went national in the country with franchising this idea. And so my big takeaway was, and the funny thing is, like, I met this guy later in life, a few years later, once he was already at the national level, and I knew what he was doing because that was exactly my plan. It was exactly the same business idea, that everything was the same. But what was the difference between this guy, who at the time that I met him, he was already doing well, very, very well. The difference was he was an action taker. He was afraid at first, but he didn't care about fear. He really just he really just wanted to take responsibility, like, be, leverage himself and actually overcome the fear that he had that I couldn't overcome. So, and by the way, I forgot to mention, this little timer is just for me to try to stick to the 10-minute mark. Hopefully I can make it happen, but we'll see. So, long story short, like, what I learned from that story was actually being afraid of failure, and being, the only thing that comes away from this fear is that you're gonna miss out on so many opportunities. And I know that you're watching right now. You're probably debating right now with one of your biggest fears. You're probably fear of sales, fear of failure, fear of your family, fear of your friends, whatever fear that is. It's just here, man. It's just here. It doesn't exist. The fear is just something that you made up. Like, you're just making it up. You're selling the idea to yourself. And the big takeaway from my lesson and my story was, honestly, at this point, I'm at the level where I'm more afraid of not trying and somebody else executing on the idea that I had, versus trying out and actually failing. Like, that's really the mentality that I have. My fear, yeah, I fear that my business is not going to work, or I'm going to fail in the business, whatever. I know I'm going to learn something. It's going to be a great lesson for me. But my fear of not executing and not taking action and letting somebody else take over my idea, that fear level is over here. And this fear is pushing me to forget about everything underneath. This is my biggest one, and this is the one that's pushing me to take action. This is the one that lets me go through every single day that I wake up, and every single time that, all the long days and long nights, just hustling and working and doing this and that. Everything is driven by just the fear of, what happens if I don't execute? What happens if I don't do this? Somebody else will. I can promise you that somebody eventually will do it for you. So it's a matter of, do you want to do it? Do you want to take action? Do you want to really, make a name for yourself and actually execute on your dreams, or just too afraid of what your friend, your little buddy is gonna think about, your family's gonna think about, rather than actually caring about what happens if you don't execute this? All your dreams are going to be sacrificed. Your everything that you want in life is going to be sacrificed. Is that really what you want? Like, doesn't that really scare you? Giving up on your dreams just so that you can be in your comfort zone, you can be at your 9 to 5, you can be doing your the career that you are at right now, even though you don't like it, even though you hate your job, even though you hate Mondays, even though you know there is something better for you out there, you still have that fear bullying you around, pushing you around, and you can't come through. You can't break through it. So the lesson here that I wanted you to really take away is, fear is just in your mind, really. Once you understand that, like, fear is something that you tell yourself, is a lie that lives in your mind. Once you understand that, and you really start to not overcome, but you actually start to realize this, and you start telling yourself, hey, this is a lie. Like, this is my thing. Everything that's on my mind right now, all the fears that I'm listening to are just made up by myself. Let's just do it. Because if I don't do it right now, if this idea, or this startup idea, this business idea, this product idea, whatever type of idea that you have right now, if you don't execute today, if you let your fear control you, I promise it might not be me, but someone else is going to come in tomorrow and execute on your idea and hit it off. I can promise you that. It already happened to me twice, and I will not let that happen again. And that's the reason why it's not that I don't fear, like I fear every single day, but my fear of actually and this is one other thing that I learned in the podcast too, now that we mentioned that, is not that successful people are fearless. They fear as well. The difference is they know which fear is stronger, and they know how to use the fear as their fuel. Did you hear that right? So they actually know that they have fear, that they fear for something. They understand that, but they know how to use the fear to their advantage, because this is what motivates them. This is what inspires them. This is what it's driving their every single day hustle. And that's exactly what I do. This is exactly the fear that I have of letting somebody else take over my idea, or let somebody else actually execute on something that I had and that was in my mind first. And because I was too afraid of executing on it, or I was just too afraid of actually, actually going through it, I just give it up, and I will not let that happen. And I hopefully, if anything, if you get anything away from this video, it's just one thing: don't let fears stop you, because fears will always be in your mind. There will always be hundreds or thousands of different fears that you can feel. But honestly, once you realize what is your biggest fear, is your biggest fear not be able to provide to your family, not be able to retire your parents, your mom, not be able to give that lifestyle to your kids and to your wife and to your husband, that freaking fear is real. That should be the one that you should focus on. If you want to fear something, if you want to feel the fear the fear of not achieving your dreams, of giving up on them. That's the real fear that I have, and hopefully you get something out of these messages. I really want to start doing a lot more live. I really want to continue encouraging more people, because I really think that the more I continue to meet people, the more I continue to talk to people, you don't really realize, it's funny, because you don't realize how far you've come, because you keep looking up to other people that are way ahead of you, and you keep chasing them, right? You keep chasing them, you keep continue to grow, you continue your personal development, and you're always looking up to someone that is doing a lot better than you, which is good. Totally, that's exactly what you need to do. But when you look back, and you actually look back and talk to someone that's behind you, and you talk to that someone, it's incredible in the last few weeks how many people have actually been not just touched, but how many people have actually been inspired by some of the things that I do. And honestly, for me, I feel like it's very selfish to keep hustling the way I am, very, very quiet, head down, just focusing on work, and just hustle every single day. It's very selfish not to share my message, not to share my story, not to document every single thing that I'm going through, all the harshness, hurdles, everything is, the entire grind is very, very selfish from me. So I really want to continue to provide a lot of content, and it's going to be very, very different content. I really want to utilize my live show to hopefully make a message across. If I can, if one person messaged me on a video, and I was able to help them in any way possible, that is honestly gonna make my day, my week, and probably my month, because that is the best joy that you can get. And going back to the story on this video, all this what I'm doing, everything I've done, everything I am right now, and everything I will be in the future as well, comes from that one mistake I made many years ago. So although, yeah, it was a mistake, it was something that I should have done. I'm glad that I made the mistake. You know why? If I would have done that business, maybe I could have done well. Maybe I would have failed anyway. But the lesson I learned was so valuable, so incredibly important in my life, because it laid the foundation on everything I do. And it's such a strong foundation that was built on everything I do, that a little struggle like this in your life can actually make such a big impact for years to come. So that's it for this video. I really enjoy sharing this story. This is a story that I honestly don't share a lot, because sometimes it's very hard to share your mistakes. Talk about, oh man, I messed up on this one. Like let it pass, or oh, I screw up on this one. It's hard to talk about that. Not a lot of people talk about their mistakes or their failures, but honestly, that's what makes us successful, because that's what's gonna teach you and teach you a lesson, and you're gonna learn the most out of it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give me some love, give me some likes, and I'll probably reuse this. We're gonna post it on YouTube, so you're watching this on YouTube as well. Hopefully, leave any questions, any comments down below, and I'll talk to you on the next video. This was so much fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully we can stick to the schedule, because it's insane right now. But I will do my best to stick to my schedule. I really want to provide a lot of value to you and to your friends. So if you know someone that really needs this message, and somebody that's on the fence right now, tag them below, and help them out, give them that little push, because honestly, they will thank you many years from now. So hopefully you get something out of this video. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next live. All right, keep hustling.